So welcome to Scheme. There's going to be some challenges. I'm not going to lie to you. There's going to be some challenges right off the bat. There's also going to be some terms that you've heard of before, but you probably never really practiced it. You're going to find out sometimes the hard way. Like the scope is static. It's determined when you compile. It's used only within the block it's defined, and that's it. We'll talk about more of that later. The other part is that there is dynamic typing. Python has something similar to that. There's some things in this that you've heard the terms before, but you may never have practiced it. You're going to find out now. The other weird part about Scheme and functional language is that the data is the code, meaning that when you create a function, that function's treated like data. We can pass that function into other functions, manipulate the data, bring it back. It's very, very hand in hand when it comes to data and the code that you create. Think of it as each function as being an object, and you know object is data. So that's very, very different than what you've had before in other languages. There's no distinction between the function and the data. The other interesting part is, we'll go over in this in more detail too, is both the function and the data are represented as a list. The syntax literally is going to have parentheses. We're going to have so many parentheses at times, it's just going to drive you crazy. So you're going to have to be very block-like style is what I call it. When you're coding things, you have to make sure that you kind of line up your parentheses so that you know when a function starts and when a function ends. I'll go over styling here in a little bit. But you have to be very, very careful, because there could be one stupid parenthesis, you've had this before with squiggly braces, that could throw things off. So it's very, very tight when it comes to the overall syntax. There's not going to be a lot of, ooh, this is a little bit different. It's going to look very similar, almost to a fault. Every time you call a function or want to do something within a function, it's all going to look like a list. So this is going to be interesting. So let's get through the next couple of things to get you started in Scheme.